Welcome back, Megan, to Message Monday. It feels crazy to think that we're already back to Monday. Time flies when you're having fun, huh? When you're a pointer and you're having fun, you're rolling. I thought I'd bring this message to you from a little different look. I changed temporary workstations. I moved all the way from the basement up to my kitchen table, so it's you got a little different background today. But anyway, happy to be back. How was your week, Meg? How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back. It's hard to believe we've been at this for about a month. And yeah, I'm in the same spot, just had to change my background to give you a different look. So, living room, basement, I'm still sitting here in the office, but just keep plugging along and, controlling what we can and just looking forward to make it the best we can for our student athletes when we're ready to get back at it.
Yeah, well, this is, as you said, this is the completion of 4 weeks. We went on, work safer at home. What would be 4 weeks ago tomorrow. Crazy how fast that's went. And this message is part of Power the Pointers. Big week out in front of us this week. I won't give all of it away, but I am excited for Wisdom Wednesday. We're going to have national champion head coach and current Division I assistant head coach Chris Brooks with us on Wednesday. Pretty excited to hear from Chris, one of the best leaders that we have around. But we're going to focus today on a lot of myths that keep flying around about what this means for our student athletes, eligibility, spring sports, so forth. So Megan is our associate athletic director and somebody who's our chief compliance officer. You're dealing with a lot of questions, and I'm going to do my best to answer them for everyone here at one time. Set me straight when I'm wrong, which will be often. So Meg, go ahead. What do you got for me?
I think the first thing a lot of people are asking is, there's that perception that there's no student athletes or no students on campus. So what is the athletic department doing right now? What does that look like? Are people still working? How has this changed us, and what does that look like for our department right now?
That's a great question. In a lot of ways, I think several of us are busier than we would have been had we stayed normal. In the reality of for 15 of our 21 sports, we were technically out of season and then heading into our spring seasons. That's a lot of virtual work anyway. It's planning, it's recruitment. Your recruits don't come to campus every day, so you're texting, calling, voicemailing. Well, now the NCAA has taken off some of the restrictions around how much you can talk with your players and what mediums you can connect with people. So our coaches are very busy. Recruiting, retaining our current student athletes. What does that mean? That means study halls and checking in with academics. And how is our major? And then also talking about our sports. We can do that now, which is not normal in the NCAA. Typically in the off season, you have to leave your sport away. Well, they lifted that for this. So coaches are working on their sport. And then, of course, always things like this, trying to engage our fan base. So you saw several D3 week videos and our track team having a virtual track meets, and we're keeping our student athletes as engaged as we can and working with them during these uncertain times. So people are really busy, but that's what we do, and we'll be excited to actually get back to a real track meet, not a virtual one.
Yeah, and I think you said it great, and your message to us as staff has just really been recruit, retain, and engage. And I think that's our job right now during this time when it comes to our student athletes, our recruits, our fan base, everybody who's involved in Pointer athletics. So with COVID-19, obviously abrupt halt came for those spring sports. What did some of the NCAA blanket waivers and some of their legislation that's come out, how does that impact those spring sports student athletes?
Yeah, the spring sports student athletes, which include golf and tennis, which is an anomaly at Stevens Point because the championships are in fall, but that's a split sport season. The conference championships are in fall, but the national championships in those two sports are in spring. So for us, that's baseball, softball, men's outdoor track, women's outdoor track, tennis, and golf. Those 6 sports, those student athletes in all grades, first year through 5th year, get an additional season of participation and 1 additional term. The NCAA gives you 10 terms to compete 4 years. So now with this, in essence, the student athletes have 11 terms to compete for 4 years, including the freshmen. So if you're a first year and you didn't get a chance to play your sport this year, or in some cases did, softball, baseball competed, obviously, golf and tennis competed, this year just doesn't count. So they all get another season after this. And then both the track teams will as well. The winter sports rip your heart out. The teams, we had, I believe, 16 men's and women's track athletes at championships. We had a women's swimmer who qualified for championships. We had a wrestler, men's wrestler, who was undefeated, #1 in his weight class. Those student athletes who had chances to compete for championships and then just kind of pulled from them, that's heartbreaking, and especially for the seniors. But at this point, the NCAA has not, and I don't anticipate will, grant any waiver or any latitude for the winter sport athletes.
Yeah, and like you said, that just breaks your heart, especially for those seniors that have, put so much time and dedication into their sport and pointer athletics. Probably the biggest thing, and I bet you wish you had a crystal ball so you could answer this question, is what do things look like moving forward? What, from what's being communicated with you, from leadership on campus, what does our summer look like? Has there been any discussions about athletics returning in the fall? I feel like everything with COVID-19 has been so fluid and probably continues to be that way a little bit, but what do you know right now?
Well, that if I had $1 for every time somebody's wondered that I could retire, I'd buy like an island, a COVID-free island, and have a great day. But Megan, that's a tricky question. We know this. Here's what we know. We know that all activity has been postponed or canceled through June on our campus. So summer camps and other things that we would have done through June, STAR, our orientation, that in person has been canceled. We'll do a lot of that virtually. Camps we certainly can't do virtually. We are 100% committed to Governor Evers' Safer at Home. He is our ultimate boss as state university employees. We're state employees. And our ultimate boss has said it's safer at home through May 24th, I believe, the Tuesday after Memorial Day. So we're going to work from home for then. Our students are going to be online through the semester and through the first half of the summer terms. There's 2 summer terms. We know that for sure. What we don't know is the second half of the summer term, July. We're working on that. And that's not my place to comment. I don't get to make the decision. I will support the campus's decision, our leadership's decision. Our leadership has been phenomenal through this, by the way. What fall looks like, this I can tell you factually. Brian Hamlin, the chief medical officer for the NCAA Sports Science Institute, has said, minimally, we will need to see a significant reduction in community spread. There, and that's not a magical number. And then, you hope you don't have a second outbreak, and, you hope between now, think about this though, Megan. 4 weeks ago, we sent a team to Florida. 4 weeks. It feels like 4 years, but it's been 4 weeks. The work that the smartest people in the world have done on vaccines, on antibodies, on this 28 days, right? I've ate leftover pizza older than 28 days. It really hasn't been that long. So to think what we could do between the middle of April and the middle of August, wow, that's an eternity in comparison to what we've had in some senses. Obviously we've had people working on this, for 5 or 6 months. So I don't know. I will say this. We are committed to our student athletes in every way, shape, or form. That's our incoming student athletes and our returners, and certainly our graduates. For our incoming freshmen, we will be as transparent and communicate the best that we can when we know, as we know. Obviously, it's our hope that we're doing everything in the fall that we typically are. In person, August 12th is the football team's return to practice date currently, and that's the first fall activity we have. We have camps July 1st. So as of right now, we're planning on those things. Obviously, we're making contingency plans should those things not happen. So I will tell you this, we are first and foremost concerned about the safety of our students and our staff and our fans. So that could take several shapes, whether we come in on time, we delay, we play without fans, I don't know, but people a lot smarter than I will know, and then we will make sure to communicate with everybody as we go.
Yeah, that sounds great, and just prepare for whatever's to come, right? Just keep pushing forward and do what we can.
That's exactly right. And if you follow data, we're doing the right things. So for our student athletes that listen to this, and I know a lot of you do, your social distancing matters. For our fans, it matters. We flattened the curve fairly well in Wisconsin. Our at least diagnosed cases in central and northern Wisconsin are rising, but not to the extreme levels that they maybe could have now, or still could if we don't make great decisions. I implore you to continue to make great decisions. This is the other thing I know. Next week, you and I will be back on Monday.
Can't wait.
And we have said we're going to have some fun next week.
We have to.
What did you call it? It's called what?
Minute to win it. We got to have, we're all missing that competition. I think everybody could see a little friendly competition between you and I.
So we'll do this. If you're interested in submitting minute to win it competition games, make sure to post them to our Facebook page or our athletics Twitter page. Only appropriate, please. And we will pick a few of those, and you and I will compete next week for a Pointer t-shirt or dinner when we can or something. So we'll have some fun next week. But in closing, to our fans, continue to say, and to our student athletes and our stakeholders, continue to stay safe. I know it's a hard time. Yesterday should have been our Pointer Awards, what is now rebranded as the SP Awards. No trademark infringement with the SP Awards. These are the SPs. And we are missing some things, graduations, and I don't think it would be right for us not to acknowledge that those come with painful, hurtful losses. Everybody's experiencing them, children to elderly. But we will get through this together, and we will be stronger. We say that all the time, and I believe that, and I can't wait to see you guys back here in fall. So, Megan, I'll leave it with you.
Thank you, Brad. Have a great Monday. Good to see you as always. Bye, Pointer fans.
Take care.